You could be looking back at almost a time capsule and watching these guys make these fine products.
100% working by hand is better than anything.
You still have a culture that insists on quality and recognizes the value of the Western lifestyle.
Every single morning when I open the doors and I'm ladies, I feel like I'm coming into my house.
There's a little bit of everybody that works here's soul goes into that boot. And when you get it, you feel it.
We just had to keep on plugging. It gets tougher every year to make the absolute best. As soon as you walk in this 100-year-old building, the saddle leather, the boot leather, it is an experience. I want it to smell like this, like a step back in time. Leddy was my grandfather. He started out originally a cotton farmer, just like his father, in a little town right outside of Brady, Texas. And when he baled his first bale of cotton, got it into town, sold it, he figured he had lost $5 on the transaction. He had passed a help wanted sign in a little saddle shop in Brady, went back, took the job, and learned how to make handmade saddles. Adjacent to it was a little shoe and boot repair shop that intrigued him, and he worked there at night helping the old timer in the boot shop. One day, a rancher brought in a boot for repair, and my grandfather had learned enough and had been around long enough that he thought that he could pull this off, and he completely took a finished boot that just needed new soles on it apart, using those pieces as patterns, and made a whole brand new boot from it. When the man came to pick up his boot that he left for repair, the old man said, "Hey, this kid helping me made this boot, try this on." The man claimed it was the most comfortable, best fitting boot he had ever had, buys them, starts telling all of his rancher friends and farmers. They start coming into the little man's shoe and boot repair shop, wanting a boot made by this Leddy kid. He had 8 brothers, and at one time or the other, almost all 8 of them worked for him some shape, form, or fashion, most of them in either being taught how to make boots or saddles. You know, we've got some old ledgers where I've seen that during the Depression, there was no pay. It was just here's food for your family, and here's equity in the company. And that was all anybody hoped for. Many in those times was to be able to feed their families. And they were fortunate to stay alive enough to where, as other small boot and shoe shops were going out of business, my grandfather would buy them out and get the inventory, the raw materials, at a much lower cost, so he was able to maintain a business. And he ends up moving to San Angelo in 1936 and buys out an existing good boot company at the time. In a short amount of time, the business swelled to much larger. So he starts buying out his brothers to leave room for his own children. And a group of his brothers actually took their purchase money and moved to Fort Worth and opened a store there that was actually a competitive store. My grandfather told him at the time that hey, I can't tell you can't go and do what I've taught you to do, but if you put a Leddy shingle out there, remember to offer the best product you can make, and more importantly, should you ever choose to sell the business, offer it back to the family where you learned your trade.
Each generation has been able to adapt to changing times without straying from the basic principles that M.L. Leddy instilled. We still do things basically the same way that M.L. Leddy did starting in 1922.
When you're a customer of ours, it becomes all about you. We hand fit you and then we build the last.
You have someone's undivided attention.
If the fit process takes an hour and a half, 2 hours, you spend that kind of time with someone, you start to develop that rapport.
And you get to choose everything. The type of leather, the color, the stitch pattern, the toe style, the heel height. It's just completely custom. It's completely handmade.
Cowboys, ranchers, and people who make a living off cowboys and ranchers is the rock solid heart of our business. Post-war business was good all over the nation, in particular probably Fort Worth. Our business is in the stockyards. The cattle business, it was growing stronger and stronger. So much of it went through Fort Worth at the time. So you had meat buyers, meat sellers, and it was always a mecca of places to purchase things cowboys wanted. Tack, riding gear, handmade boots, and our store was on the crossroads. Here in West Texas, there was a drought, a 10-year drought where it basically did not rain for 10 years. And it was devastating to the farmers, the ranchers, all out in this area. Consequently, it's devastating to our business that relied so much on that localized trade. That my grandfather in the early 50s literally filled his station wagon at that time full of boots, handed my father the keys, and said, drive until you've sold all these boots. He gets to Houston, huge event here in Houston, it's the Houston Rodeo. So my father and my uncle set up a booth at the Houston Rodeo. My father and my uncle, whose personality were both awesome, but in particular, my father was just if you ever met him, you want to do business with that person. The booth that we started, that was originally probably 10 feet by 15, is now about a 3,500 square foot pop-up store. The mentality of what they call the greatest generation, you do what you had to be done. Got us through the Depression, got us through the war years, got us through the drought, and one common denominator was we have, from the very beginning to now, it's always been nothing, it's only family. Just as long as you can feed your family, as long as you can keep your bootmakers and your saddle makers busy, we don't strive to be the world's most renowned, but after 100 years, you kind of become that.
M.L. Leddy had 2 sons and a daughter, Dale and Hollis Leddy and Joyce Leddy. He hired my father, Wilson's father, Jim Franklin, to work for him. And soon my father asked Mr. Leddy if I could court your daughter, and he courted her and he married her. When Mr. Leddy died in 1957, my father had grown to be the person that the customers knew because he was on the floor.
M.L. Leddy sold his company to his 2 sons and his son-in-law.
Sometime in the late 60s, when the stockyards in Fort Worth started having some changes of economic times, and the ownership there offered it back to this M.L. Leddy family. And so now both of them are all under the same M.L. Leddy origin.
Our dad had put us to work every day after school and on the weekends, the Franklin children. Eventually, my uncles were ready to retire. That was in 1980. And that's when my dad, Jim Franklin, signed a note and helped my brother buy my uncles out.
Each generation moving forward has bought out the other. And so it's not an inherited entity.
M.L. Leddy started it, and Franklins are continuing it on.
Here in San Angelo, one of the salesmen will take you out in the shop and you can see firsthand how the boots are made. We only make 7 pair of boots a day.
Everything we do is done by hand. If there's a machine, it's a person operating it, not a computer. And everything on it is not perfect. I may pull out a boot and show them how the stitching on the top is not perfect because a person powders that pattern on that top and she just goes to stitching it. That's why they look touchable. That's why they don't look stamped out. When you leave, you know you've been waited on and you feel like you were special. And that's how we were taught to treat people. That's how I like to be treated. It comes naturally for all of us. My grandfather, M.L. Leddy, said we will always have a boot no greater than the working man cowboy's wages for the month.
For me as a working cowboy, I can come here and say, this is what I need in a cowboy boot. And we could go to the back and we can go through all of the leather they have and I can pick out what I think is suitable for a boot that, you know, we're gonna be working on the ground, going through the brush, you know, we're gonna be horseback, we're gonna be in the dirt, in the rocks, the cactus. Everything can be thrown at the leather and the boots are gonna hold up. I know a lot of good cowboys that have started wearing M.L. Leddy boots because they realize that they're not just a fancy boot for somebody in Dallas. They're for ranchers and cowboys as well.
We also do our own repair of those boots, just like my grandfather started doing it nearly 100 years ago. And you'll see boots that it's obvious this boot lives with a spur on it. It stands in the manure and everything, but he knows this leather will take it, this boot will take it.
And what they built me is a boot that's gonna last forever. As long as they can put new soles on them, I'll keep wearing them.
I started at M.L. Leddy's in 1982. We build saddles custom from start to finish. We start out with the leather, the trees, the hardware. It involves not just building the saddle, but all the decoration that goes with it, carving or stamping. When a customer comes in, he may want a saddle for one of the modern events like cutting or team penning or roping, or he may want to duplicate Granddad's saddle. And we can do those kinds of things. We don't restrict ourselves to just one type or style of saddle. The company has been in business since 1922, so even though those old-time saddle makers are no longer around, we have a lot of those saddles that we can reference. I started out of necessity building a saddle for myself and repairing saddles on a ranch I worked on. Building saddles has been a passion for me, and I think that's true of most custom saddle makers. It can be a very demanding trade. It's one of those trades that you really have to love doing to be successful at it. I've found a good fit here working for the Franklin family, so I've stayed put since.
We won't have M.L. Leddy's without continuing to make high quality products. We're not trying to be the cheapest, we're trying to be the best.
The amount of business that we have is mixed of cowboy, working on the ranch, working in the oil field, as judges, lawyers, ladies that wear to work with their Gucci's, their Pradas. It's high fashion, all the way down to stepping in the manure.
One of the things that we try to do is make shopping an experience. I really think that's one of the reasons that we're still here. There's approximately a 10-month wait for our custom ML Leddy boots. We have to make our customer excited about that wait.
One of the things that we really specialize is full custom boots. We have over 1,000 pair to look at, but that's not the limitations of what we can do. It's really up to their own creativity. If somebody has an idea, if they want to draw it out, and Jason here in Angelo is a very good artist, so he can help sketch out something and try to replicate that in a tooling or a leather inlay. You can kind of tell their story. 5 different pieces of that customer's life symbolized somewhere in the tops of those boots.
We have a lot of people that come through San Angelo that are just passing through. And so I bring them through the production end, and they're just amazed that we're still in business for so long, and there's not any big computers and machines that are just grabbing and stapling and putting things together, and that there's people sitting here doing this.
I started ML Leddy's in April 1979. Any kind of toes they're asking for, I'm in charge to making the shape and everything on it. My job is not really change it because I still do it the way I do it for 40 years. But it's a little different in the areas that make more quality boots.
These people, they're our family. We have a lot of people that aren't blood, but they're family.
Mr. Wilson, Mr. Jim Franklin, Beverly, Martha, I feel it like I'm part of the family.
And we need their human factor, their care factor. This is just as much part of them as it is us. There's a little bit of everybody that works here's soul goes into that boot, and when you get it, you feel it.
Once you get a custom pair of boots and your measurements are in a big red ledger, that's powerful.
We've got books full of wannabes to already ours, in politics, in movies, in music, fashion. I think they would appreciate it if I just kind of left it at that.
Whether you're famous or whether you are a working cowboy, your delivery is the same. You can't pay an expediting fee, just because you have the money to spend. That does not move you up further in the line. I think that's the best example of how they're treated equally.
There's nothing like the fit of something that's really, really made for you. And when it comes to cowboy boots, no one's last fits like an ML Leddy boot.
If we do our job correctly, that boot is going to feel so good, you're going to wear it so much more. When you're going to be on your feet and you want to be comfortable, you're going to go to that boot.
The word of mouth business has forever been almost our only advertising tool. Nothing is just any more powerful than the person who knows your product, knows the quality of your service, and that person will pass it on to the next, and that person to the next.
They just make a really nice looking boot. I've seen a lot of different boots over my life, and I can tell a Leddy boot. They just have a classy look about them.
There is a special feeling when people come to Leddy's and they tell you that their grandfather wore Leddy boots, their father wore Leddy boots, their mother, and they've been saving for 5 or 6 years. And this was something on their bucket list. They've wanted a pair of Leddy boots all their life. Here I am. Just show me what I need to do, help me find the boot I need. And that just tells us that we're doing the right thing, we're doing it right. Emel hired people to just do one thing and become an expert at it.
This is what they do for Leddy, and they are the best in the world at doing it. 3 or 4 years ago, I added up that if you just concentrated on the bootmaking intelligence, that in that little shop, there were over 500 years of bootmaking experience, all under this one roof. I am extremely proud to be third generation family member of something my grandfather started in 1922, Leddy. And I'm even doubly proud that I'm helping raise the fourth generation that will carry this business on another 100 years. I think from a customer standpoint, they're gonna walk in and see the passing from this old man generation here to this younger generation and won't see any difference.
My biggest concern is making sure that the knowledge is passed on, and that goes all across the board. You can't go and teach somebody this stuff overnight. You can't teach them that in a year. It takes years of dedication to be able to do what these guys are able to get their hands to make. Recruiting people that want to come in and learn that and basically dedicate their working life to that, it's gonna be a big challenge. Times change pretty rapidly. This hasn't really changed that much, and I think that draws a lot of people to it. It's not that progress is always bad, but it can take you back to, almost simpler times.
I see it as a big advantage working for a family-owned business versus a corporation, because as things change, you still have a culture that insists on quality and recognizes the value of the Western lifestyle.
A lot of people ask me how Leddy's doing. I say, well, we're making boots. I'm a bootmaker now for 40 years, and I'm still there. And I say, that is my life, because I love my job. I like what I'm doing. I really do.
A lot of our customers we consider family and friends. I don't know how Neiman Marcus works. They have a lot of business. They have a lot of good customers, but I don't think they all have them on each other's cell phones. We do.
They will walk out at the very least knowing that they've never been in any place like it ever before, and probably never will again. I doubt if anyone could recreate what we've been able to survive approaching 100 years.